Hi, I am Aman and welcome to the next section, that is introducing Azure functions. In this section, we are going to understand fundamentals of Azure function. What is Azure functions? If someone asks me to define Azure function, then I would say that Azure function is a normal function which is provided by Azure to perform some task without worrying about infrastructure. It consists of two major components, which are triggers and bindings. Trigger tells us that based on which event or action it should execute the Azure function. Binding tells us that which type of data we are sending to Azure function and which type of data we are going to return from Azure function. Triggers. As we know that triggers tells us that based on which event or action it should execute the Azure function. Let's see some of the example of triggers. If I want to execute my Azure function every minute, then I will use timer trigger Azure function. If I want to execute my Azure function when someone hits the get, post or any other HTTP request, then I will use HTTP trigger Azure function. Bindings. As we know that binding tells us that which type of data we are sending to Azure function and which type of data we are going to return from Azure function. We binds data at the input or at the output of Azure function. Let's see some of the examples of bindings. If I want to receive HTTP headers and body as input, then I will use HTTP request object in method parameter. If I want to receive queue message, then I will use message object in method parameter. It looks similar to MVC binding, but it has one more advantage, that you don't need to write code to create connection, and also you don't need to pull data manually. Instead of that, you just need to provide connection string value and binding will make the connection and fetch the recent data for you. Essential features of Azure function. Serverless applications. Personally, I don't like this term serverless as it may confuse anyone. It doesn't mean that there is no server involved to run Azure function. But the actual meaning here is that you don't need to maintain infrastructure or server. You can develop and publish on Azure function app and Azure will manage its server for you. Can be developed in your favorite language. Yes, you can develop using C#, Java, JavaScript, Python, PowerShell, and many more. Pay per use pricing model. If you are using consumption plan, then you need to pay only for the time spent running your Azure function. Can maintain state. However, Azure function works on a stateless protocol, but with the durable Azure function, you can maintain the state between the multiple Azure functions. How much does Azure function cost? Azure function has three kind of pricing plans. Choose the one that best fits your need. First, consumption plan. If you are using consumption plan, then you need to pay only for the time spent running your Azure function. Second, app service plan. It is like a hosting plan where you select the RAM, CPU, disk and OS to run your application. Third, premium plan. Mostly used for enterprise application where it provides pre-warmed instances which help to increase or decrease the instance of servers as per need. Predefined Azure function templates. Based on the triggers, there are different templates available for you. HTTP trigger executes based on HTTP request. Timer trigger executes as scheduled time interval. Azure Cosmos DB trigger executes based on the changes of Azure Cosmos DB documents. Blob storage trigger executes based on the changes of Azure storage blobs. Queue storage trigger executes based on the changes of Azure storage queue message. Service bus queue trigger executes based on the changes of Azure Service Bus message queue. Service bus topic trigger executes based on the changes of Azure Service Bus topic messages.